Cary Sherburne, Senior Editor at whattheythink.com. I'm here with John Foley, who's CEO of Grow Socially. And this is the first part of a 5-part series we're doing with you. And maybe we could start by talking about a core competency of yours, which was QR codes and how that applies to the new world of mobile communications.
Well, it's good to see you, Cary, as
Same
always.
here.
And thanks for having me. Let's back up a little bit on how QR codes were used and first started. They were, applied different places. They weren't really tracked or measured. Well, now I see a lot more. Even at this trade show here today at On Demand, there's a lot more people using them in an effective way. Some of the best practices I think that people could use with applying QR codes is A, make sure that you can measure them, and then B, make sure they go to the mobile experience if that's what people are going to do. If they're shooting them with their phones, then if they're going to send them to a page, it needs to be mobilized. And I think if there's any advice I could give to, in the print community, is to do just that, is to start to think about mobile strategies, because with the adoption of the smartphones today, the way we communicate and get our data over the next 3 to 5 years will be through the mobile devices, and we need to be ready to be able to deliver campaigns that way.
Yeah, a couple of times I've snapped QR codes and it ends up going to a regular web page, which is really annoying because then you have to kind of like scroll around it and try to figure out where you are. Right. It doesn't make sense. So you have some tools available to help.
Well, in the interlinkONE products, we created some products that stand by themselves to allow people to do things like create the QR code, and anybody can create QR codes. I shouldn't say anyone, but it's really about the tracking purpose. But then we said, what's next? And I think what we did was we put together a product called iFlyMobi that allows you to actually build a mobile web page in a matter of seconds. And I'm not talking about converting a page. It's really about customizing a page on the web, right? Which then you can, have the QR code generated, and then it actually goes right to the mobile experience, whether it's an ad, whether it's an e-profile card, or whether it's your corporate website.
And so there are lots of different mobile devices out there. How do you handle that? Because they're all different size screens. And
well, that's a great question. When you're building the application or your mobile device, the software that we built allows you to actually, it'll make it so it fits on every phone, so it knows what type of phone.
Okay, so it's a device detection in there.
Right, so it knows, and it tracks that too, so we kind of store that information, how many people viewed this page with a BlackBerry versus a iPhone, etc.
That's great. I remember talking to a gentleman from Brazil a while back, and they have a device detection solution, and he was telling me that just with Nokia alone, there are 3,000 different formats.
Well, not to get totally off the subject of mobile, but we have this whole thing right now about the mobile app, right? And we've got an app for that, and we have an app for that. Well, because of the speeds changing, and 4G isn't really going to be exactly the speeds that 4G stands for, but it's going to be 3 to 5 times faster than it is today. And if you just think about that progression, do we really need a mobile app for your phone, or will you be able to spin up apps on the web and just use them remotely? And I think right now we're at a 50-50 place where the downside of creating the app, you have to create one for each device, right? So you have to create one for the iPhone, you have to create one for the BlackBerry, you have to create one for the Droid. Where a mobile web, right, application where it's built on the web and you can just use it across the internet, right, over that wireless communication, you only have to build it one time and all phones can use that.
Okay.
So anyways, I think you're going to see more and more of that, because you can have the same experience and you don't have to build it for each phone. So
well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, that will be, and to find out more about that, we go to iFlyMobi.com.
iFlyMobi.com, Mobi short for mobile, right? Mobi.com, and you can learn, how to make your own web pages and for the mobile phone in a matter of minutes.
Great,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good to see you.